Hello everyone, Kireth here and welcome along to another video, and yes, we're real life karting. We're in the real world today, not on GT Sport, not on iRacing, anything like that. We're on a real track, in a real car. It's been a while and there's a special reason why I'm here today, and that's because in a couple of weeks from the time I'm posting this video, I'm going to be doing the Daytona 24 hours at Milton Keynes with some teammates from GT Sport and Club 100. So Ruswald you'll know, Sam Dimlow you'll know, my old teammate from the Club 100 Esports League, aka Wolemid, and also Eric Mignon, who's a very fast Club 100 driver. So the four of us teaming up, we're going to hit the Daytona 24 hours in one of these, the N35 Karts at Daytona. They're pretty new, been running for less than a year. They were debuted at the 24 hours last year, and this is my first time in one of them. Now I know the Sodis at Daytona Sandown Park quite well, the 490cc engines with the Sodi chassis. These ones are very different, and I wasn't expecting them to be so different. Only a 270cc engine, so really low in power, and you can see it through this right hander here, that's slightly off camber as you go deep into the corner. I've really struggled to keep the revs up there, so having to learn some new techniques with this car. But this is what the practice is about, because I'm going to be hitting 24 hours. I'm going to be doing 6 hours each in the car, most likely 3 stints of 2 hours each. So not quite Iron Man, but that's a long time in the car. I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't been karting for a while. I was at Club 100 yesterday, Daytona Milton Keynes today, and then we're going to be doing the Daytona 24 hours. I mean, that is heaven right there for karting. So we're at Milton Keynes, a new track for me. First time I've been here. Hadn't really seen any track guys. There didn't seem to be many track guys on the internet, actually. So why don't we kind of do one now as we go around for what's going to be my first lap. And but actually, I think my fastest lap in the session, weirdly. So here we go, last corner. I think I can go quite a bit tighter than that on the apex. Don't run too wide on the banking there. Going to go over the start finish line. Turn 1 isn't really a corner. It's quite easy flat. Turn 2, I think you need to lift or dab the brakes. Probably just lift. Get close here so you don't compromise the right-hander. Run a little bit wide left-hand side. Bring it back to the right-hand side. I was quite aggressive on the turn in here to get the car turned in. I didn't seem to lose a lot of revs, but this corner here I struggled all day to work out. So I'm a bit smoother here. Try not to hit the apex and go up that adverse camber. Trying to keep it wider. The fast driver seems to do that. Couldn't quite do it at the same speed as them. We go around this very fast corner here. Don't think you need to lift. Camber will bring you round. And this corner here, the hairpin at the top, again you can be aggressive because the exit is downhill. So get the kart pointed the right way and then the kart will speed up down the hill. These two are flat, really fun corner this onto the back straight. All about, I think, getting on the power early. Don't run too wide on the exit there because they've got tyres, and I saw some people in those tyres, which you don't really want to be in the race, so that's what practice is for. This corner here, fast left-hander, completely flat, just about doing 40 miles an hour, going into what is my worst corner at this track so far. This hairpin here, I just seem to absolutely kill the 270cc engine here, and I can't pick up the revs. The kart dies on me. Last corner isn't too special. I think a little lift on the way in, although you can probably do it flat, so overtake the right line. And that's a lap at Daytona Milton Keynes in the N35 Karts. That was my fastest lap of the session, weirdly, on lap 1. That doesn't seem right. I feel like I should be getting faster and the kart should be getting more warmed up. But anyway, that's what it is. 17.5. I think the fast drivers here do laps in the 13s. So considering I'm a bit heavier, I've never been here before, we'll add a second on for either of those. I think the 15s is where I really want to get to. So next step after this is to get into the 16s and then chip away and get in those 15s. I think that would be a very good lap time for me at this track. At Daytona Sandown Park, I tend to be within half a second of the really quick people. So that's a track where I know it very well and the Sodis have more grunts. That's not going to be in my favour here. The cart's got less power. You can see up this hill, I kind of struggle to get going. I feel like I struggle to get going. So any weight I can lose before the 24 hours is really going to help me. We'll go around again for another lap and I'll try and give some more kind of insight. Oh, I span it. Okay, I span it. I was really trying to push it hard at this corner because I just could not work it out how to go around it without losing the rev. So that time I was trying to brake as late as possible and really upset the kart turning in. Kind of a Club 100 style thing. I just, in hindsight, having looked back at this footage now, I don't think that's the fastest way to go here. I think in these karts, I suspect you need to be very smooth and keep the momentum going. And actually, my driving style in karting used to be quite smooth, and as I did more Club 100, I really tried to become more aggressive because I find that's the best way to drive those karts, to be really aggressive on turning. So this corner there, I'm quite aggressive on turning. But I don't think it's the way in these karts. I just haven't got enough power. You can see here, I'm just scrubbing so much speed, just turning around the corner. So I need to work that out. Probably don't even need to brake for that corner, I think. Just a little lift will do. And I say that's been the most interesting thing from this practice session, is I expected these karts, being full-stroke karts, to be very similar to the Sodis at Sandown Park, and they're just not. The Sodi chassis is much more stiff than this Bill N35 chassis. This Bill N35 chassis is quite similar to the Club 100 one in the way it feels. It feels very light, very pliable. You can dance it on the brakes, but it has this combination of a underpowered engine, and that's something I haven't experienced before. As you can see here on the Delta, I was actually quite a bit up on this lap, and then we hit the yellow flag, and weirdly I don't lose like huge amounts of time. So even under a yellow flag going around that corner, I haven't lost massive amounts of time, like seconds. So that makes me think that I need to be smoother here, keep the revs up, and I'm hoping that will kind of fit my driving style when I drive the way that I used to drive when I was karting, which was very smooth, trying to minimise the inputs, steer a little bit with the brakes when you need to, but don't necessarily do it with the wheel. And this corner here, if I can work it out, if anyone's watching, if you've been to MK or you're watching this footage and you know why I'm so slow around this corner and the other hairpin at the end of the lap, then please let me know in the comments. I'm all ears. You might contribute to us saving minutes in the Daytona 24 hours. This corner I find quite fun. Clip the apex, downhill, really fun run. You actually hit, I think, about 40 down here when you're really exiting quite well, which is as fast as you get on the main straight. Really fun corner, this one. You can see the mini-map on the right-hand side. That's actually more accurate than the Delta. I think the Delta doesn't quite work because it's using GPS information. It's not like a Delta you get in GT Sport or Forza or iRacing. You can see I'm matching my fastest lap because that pink car is my Ghost, essentially. And we're going to go around this corner. What's going to happen to the Ghost? The Ghost is just getting ahead. So again, I was bogging down the car a little bit too much. It would be really interesting to see the revs of the engine and what's happening there. I don't know if it's the clutch kind of detaching, or just it takes longer to come up from that part of the power band. When I was karting back in the day, for me, on the TKMs, there was no clutch. So the karts were very, very responsive, even at the low end. And possibly shaped my driving style around that. You can see here against the Ghost, I'm doing pretty well at the moment, neck and neck. Going around this fast right-hander. We might actually get a little bit of a toe down the back straight from this guy ahead. Let's see. Fun corner here. Don't think I lose too much time, although not as good at exit as I got on the Ghost lap, I think. Hard to tell. Going into here, barreling in. I think I want to be carrying as much speed through here as possible. When I go for my practice before the 24 hours on that morning, I kind of want to be in the tyres there. I want to see just how much speed I can carry through. How much speed I can't, to be exact, and then dial it back a little bit. So didn't get a toe there, had to overtake the guy, but we're going to go around here. I span here, I think, last lap or a couple laps ago. And you can see the car just absolutely dies. So I'm doing something very wrong there. I think I'm just being way too aggressive, turning the car, killing the engine, and just can't pick it up. So is it a wider line? Is it a later turn in? I don't have the answer. If I had the answer, I would have tried it in the session. It's definitely very unusual to set your fastest lap in the first lap that you go out in a cold kart. That just seems very unusual. But again, we're kind of up on the Ghost here, so I'm not sure why this lap isn't going to be as good. The last few laps have been consistent, although not quite as quick. Seem to be losing a bit of time to the Ghost now, so must have been a poor exit. And we've got some traffic here. Are we going to be able to clear them before the corner? No, so that's going to compromise us a little bit, although we'll just slink up the inside here. A little bit of a drag race. I am coming in heavier this season than in previous seasons, thanks lockdown. And again, in these karts, I just feel like every kilo is so important, especially for this long straight. I think a unique characteristic of Daytona Milton Keynes is that the long straight starts with an uphill section. And that's quite unusual because long straights are all about getting your speed up early at the beginning, a good exit from the corner. And it's magnified here because the exit of the preceding corner is uphill. So if you get a bad exit there, you'll lose horrendous amounts of time. But yeah, 17.5, I don't really know, to be honest. But I feel like I should be aiming for the 15s. And if I can do that fairly consistently in the race, I've got 6 hours of racing to do. So definitely a lot to think about and improve. This corner I tried a few different lies. I tried barreling it in, being really brave on the entry. Didn't really seem to pay dividends. The most sensible line seemed to be a little lift on the way and get really close left hand side and treat it with the respect to the chicane that it is and think about the exit. Again, we're kind of neck and neck with the Ghost here. Not too bad as we go around this corner. I was trying to apex quite late here, around there. That's quite wide and that's going to lose time. I think we gained a little bit on the Ghost actually, possibly. Hard to tell. Definitely lost it now, so I'm trying to interpret the information the same as you see on screen and I'm struggling to put it. So if you've got any ideas, let me know. Now this is a really fun corner. Someone right on the apex here. He's in a bad way. Interesting to spin it there. I wonder maybe just snatching on the brakes on the way in. I suspect I'm trying to possibly brake too late for that corner, and actually I should just visualise the exit. Don't worry about the apex, just visualise the exit and I'll carry through a lot more speed. Catching someone else here, he goes up on that curb on the left hand side. Always really interesting to catch people and see where they're losing time, or see where they're gaining time. But if they're gaining time, you won't see them much longer. But in this session I was able to catch most people, so I was able to see a few things. He got a very wide entry there, doesn't get anywhere near the apex and loses loads of time, and we were able to just carve through on the inside. So yeah, I think you've got to be really tight to that apex on the left hand side. Again, this mysterious corner, what can we do? Yeah, that was really bad. You could just hear, just be quiet for a second, you just hear the revs die. Look at my lap now compared to the Ghost on the mini-map. We've lost a load of time. It will show again here if we go through this exit. The GPS seems to get a bit confused with the corner. We've lost a staggering amount of time to that corner. Let's have a look at this exit now. Yeah, I think that's just way too cautious. Again, I'm watching this back with you, just recording it, letting you know what I'm thinking. If you've got any thoughts, let me know. But I think there's too cautious through that corner. This corner, I didn't know whether to white line it on the outside or just keep it narrow. I think in the spirit, yellow flag here, there's someone just past the apex. I think in the spirit of trying to be smooth, I'll probably try and white line it a little bit and just minimise the scrubbing of speed. This corner here, I think I need to be very close, almost hitting the barrier on the inside. It's going to be a slower start to the lap this, because the end proves up to compromise. Let's have a look through there. Seemed like a decent exit actually from this bit. Yeah, not too bad so far, not too bad at all, not too shabby. And then we come into this mysterious corner. Very tight to the apex this time. And again, the kart dies. So I don't think tight to the apex worked there for me. I think I need to work out the line, and I don't know what it is, but it's not tight. Again, we'll have a look with the gap to the Ghost on the mini-map when we exit this corner. And we've lost quite a significant amount of time. So that corner, I think, is my kryptonite. I suspect if we looked at my optimal lap time, then there may be a lap when I've actually kind of done it vaguely correctly, and the optimal might be in the 16s, but at the moment I'm just making a real mess of it. So I'm lap 9 here, about to go into lap 10. Fast left-hander. Going into my joint worst corner on the track with that other hairpin. Just can't do the hairpins. It's weird because in Club 100 I quite like hairpins. I like the sensation of getting really close to locking up the brakes and getting the kart sideways and getting on the power early and thinking about overtaking. But in this kart it's just confused me. I think I was treating it too much like a Sodi. I need to really rethink my approach to it. So we're catching someone else here, so we'll get a bit more information. Here we go again. Wide this time, going wide, and just lose a lot of time going wide as well. So I suspect I've gone too narrow and I've gone too wide. I suspect I need to be on the power sooner. I just need to really minimise the time I spend lifting before the entry of that corner. So we'll have a look next time and see how I take it. But again, if you look at the mini-map, just getting absolutely destroyed by my Ghost. And the Ghost probably wasn't even a good lap. Kart ahead of me got a bit of sideways there, so we should catch a little bit on the straight up, but they may be lighter. So you can see the difference that makes. But that is what it is. I'll have a bit more grip possibly on the outside wheels through the corners. Right, here we go. This is going to be interesting because it's taking a bit longer to catch up with this person in the what looks to be the rocket overalls. So we'll see if we can get a move done or if we struggle. Always good practice for a 6-hour race, a 24-hour race. Although 6 hours kind of for me in the seat. Try and go around the outside here. Thought better of it. I probably should have kept my foot in there. That wasn't particularly brave of me to pull out of that one. Thinking about what to do here. We're going to try and go for a cutback. Try and go around the outside. Think about the cutback. Doesn't really work. And again, look how much time I lose. I mean, I really need to work out that corner. That is quite serious and alarming. Gain a bit of time through here because I think the person had probably lifted. It goes very wide through this corner, so not near the apex, but I'm not going to have the speed to dive up the inside because I think they are a bit lighter. So this is quite a fun battle actually. What should we do here? There we go. Kind of hitting all that curb on the inside. That's nice. That's a nice overtake. That took a lot of time to do though. Don't think we'll get past back here. I think we had a decent exit. Let's have a look at this corner. How are we going to take it, this hairpin? Died a little bit. Not the worst I've taken it, but definitely not the best. Shame I haven't really got sector times. That would be very useful. So we've got some clear track ahead of us now. Let's try and get back in the groove. Just hear the lift there. It means you can power out. That was quite nice on the exit, getting really close to the tyres, maximising the track width. This is looking tidy so far, this lap, actually. When we come to this corner, my kryptonite. Yeah, that's interesting. I really don't think I was off the throttle there much at all, but my turning point must be wrong or something, because again, I've lost a load of time. We're going to hit some traffic now. As we go around the left-hand hairpin. This is going to be a bit awkward because I think we're going to meet, we're going to compress at the fast left-hander at the bottom as the guy in the yellow cart brakes a little bit and probably should have, okay, I'm going to go for it, but then, okay, I've made an absolute meal of that. That was quite poor on my part, but that's racing. Considering this guy braked for that corner quite heavily, I think we'll be able to go around the outside here, I suspect. Yes, that's what we'll do. It's kind of weird watching stuff back that you've done, and it's like a memory, but not particularly... Everything's not a crystal clear memory, but then you watch it back on video and it's like putting bits of a jigsaw back together. So I obviously know that I overtook him on the outside, but I wasn't quite sure. But anyway, we did. Someone else to overtake now, around the left-hander, getting a little bit of a slipstream. What are we going to do for this corner? Lift a little bit. I need to get close there on the inside, run a bit wider there. Braking quite a bit later there, catches me out actually. Have to stamp on the brakes a little bit. And what are we going to do at this corner? I think we are going to go for the cut back. I don't know if he just pulled over and let me through actually. But we do go for that cut back and make it work. Only a few laps to go in this session. It's only a 20-minute practice session, but pretty much perfect for me to get my eye in here. So we're going to go down again. I want to get a good exit from this fast left-hander. I think it's critical to the lap. Let's have a look. That felt decent actually. That felt decent. If you have a look compared to my Ghost, hard to tell, but I don't think I'm really losing too much time. So that was a decent exit. Now this corner, what we're going to try and do here. Try and clip that curb on the inside. That felt better. I'd say the second half of this lap, I think we've caught up on our Ghost. Unfortunately, it's difficult to tell because we hit some traffic there, but I think the second half of that lap was actually decent. So can we replicate that for this one? Again, it's going to be a compromised start to the lap, so lap time's not going to be good. Definitely getting into a bit of a groove. A bit more steady through there that time. Somehow I've caught up on my Ghost. That's very interesting. And again, losing it now. I think I need to turn in a bit later and then straight line the exit a little bit more. I think I'm just applying too much steering angle through the corner and it's scrubbing the speed. That's kind of my hunch. Always going to be a fun corner, this one. And the track not massively physically demanding in these karts. I was worried about doing 6 hours. I've done a 24-hour race before in karting. I've done the British or the BUKC 24 hours up at Teessides in their 4-stroke pro karts. That was a bit more physically demanding. I've done a 12-hour race overnight at Rye House in their pro karts. That's probably one of the toughest races I've done in my life. That was very physically demanding. I think is it yellow flags? That's why we've stopped. Or come to a crawl. I hope that wasn't me taking the apex really badly. Let's have a look. Yes, the checker flag is up. So this is going to be the last lap. So that was the last lap. That's it. Game over. So we basically got 14 laps in. And we did our fastest lap on the first lap. So I've really got to work that out in my head. How has that happened? That is not good, I think. I should be trying to get quicker. But when we go for the practice session before 24 hours in the morning, I will try and record it and see if I can get in those 16s and hopefully try and dip in the 15s in the race if it's dry. If you've got any comments about this type of content or any ideas or stuff we can do for the 24 hours, let me know. You can see here I'm just trying to apply the brake and just see at what point it locks up. Then, yes, let me know in the comments, let me know in Discord. We've got 4 people from Club 100 doing it. 3 of us are, inverted commas, YouTubers. So there should be some very exciting content on the way. If someone zooms past me under the yellow flag conditions, which is absolutely fine, no one really cares. Very cool here, you've got very fast train lines on the right hand side. Sometimes you see these intercity trains coming full pelt. Just adds to the sense of speed. And yeah, for my first time at MK, I really enjoyed it. It's really nice coming to a new track in kind of low pressure situations like this, where you're not diving straight into a race. I really enjoy that kind of feeling out the track, but next time I go, I've got to turn the screw a little bit, and I've got quite a few things. Well, I just want to try that rumble on the left-hand side. I don't think that's good to drive on. I've got a couple of corners I really, really need to work on ASAP, and then it'll be the usual process of gaining time everywhere at the lap, just kind of a tenth here, a tenth there. But there's a couple of corners, those hairpins, where I'm really not driving the car very well at all. But we will work it out. That's the process of learning. That's why we do it. That's what I really enjoy. As we go into the pit lane, it is just 2 miles an hour. Although I think my speedo is going to dob me in here. It's either 2, but we're actually going 8. It feels like 2. I think 2 miles an hour would stall the car, or you actually wouldn't be able to move it 2. But anyway, that's going to bring us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know in the comments. Got some more karting content to come. Some races at Daytona Standard Park, some racing Club 100. I like bringing the real world stuff. Haven't been able to do it as much in the last year because of lockdown and COVID. But yes, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next time.